kitchen today, and if you saw my Facebook post this morning, you know that the object of today's little tutorial is to make some dog-safe pupcakes for my Basset Hound's 8th birthday, which is today, the 22nd of July. So today we are going to be doing like a banana, carrot, very kind of moist, dense, dog-safe, completely dog-safe cupcake. So this is ideal because this is a small batch recipe. So you don't have to have like mountains and mountains of this stuff left over. Because it is going to be something that's you're not typically giving your dog, you also don't want to you don't want to upset the apple cart too much as far as what they're taking in. So let's talk ingredients here. So we've got an empty bowl, and we're going to do our dry ingredients into the bowl. So we've got 2 cups of flour. Now you can use white, like all-purpose flour, or you can use wheat flour. I wish I had wheat. I was out of it, so it is all-purpose flour. And we're going to add to that 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Just give that a little bit of a mix. Okay. Now, the recipe that I found for this actually called for using ground cinnamon. However, I didn't have ground cinnamon handy upstairs, and I didn't really want to go rooting around in my pantry downstairs for it. But what I did find, it also calls for honey, 1 tablespoon of honey, and this is actually local honey that I've just set in some warm water to loosen it up, because sometimes your honey gets a little bit seized up from sitting in the cupboard. So this is actually pure local honey, creamed Oxford brand raw honey, and it actually has some cinnamon in it. So we're going to use that. So we're going to do, let's find my measuring spoons here. A little rinse. There we go. So we are actually going to do 1 tablespoon of honey in a separate bowl. This is going to be for our moist ingredients. Okay. To that, we will add 1 large egg that I'm just going to whip up a little bit. Okay. We've also got a banana over here. Now this has actually been in my freezer, so I'm going to try and just break it in 2 and give it a bit of a mash. Might actually at this point might be easier to just use my hands, give it a little squish. The heat of my hands will get it warmed up. There we go. Perfect. Now I can mash it with my fork a little bit better. Okay, so that's going to go into my moist ingredients. And finally, we're going to add to that 1 large grated carrot. Just used like a box grater to grate that. Just going to give my hands a rinse. Okay. Now, you can add vanilla to this, but only if it's pure vanilla. You don't want to add anything artificial to this recipe for your fur babies. You want it to be as dog-friendly as possible. So I'm just going to give our moist ingredients a bit of a stir / mash. Get that honey up off the bottom. There we go. Excellent. Looking good. Okay, now we are going to add about 1.5 cups plus or minus of water. So there's 1 cup in with our moist ingredients, and I'm going to keep the other half out, and I'm going to add it if I think I need it. So I'm going to use that water in my moist ingredients. And then I'm going to start adding in my dry, okay? A little bit at a time, stirring after each mixture to incorporate it. And bearing in mind, again, that I'm going to have to add some more of that water without a doubt. But I don't want it too moist. last of our flour going in. We're going to see how it looks as far as consistency after we get it all folded in. It's going to need a little water, but I don't think I'm going to add too much. There's our oven, which has been preheating to 375 degrees. That looks pretty good. Now I think what I am going to do, I'm going to do a little bit of a modification. Instead of adding extra water to the recipe, I have some unsweetened applesauce here. I'm just going to add a little bit of that just to help keep it moist. And that's my dog outside. He knows I'm making something for him. Let me go let him in. Come on in, critter. Never wants to be out of the loop. Good. Okay. This is looking good and it's smelling quite good. And again, there's nothing in here that is not human safe either. So, I mean, if you want to enjoy a cupcake with your fur baby, you can feel free. All right. Take my dishes here out of the way after making quite a racket. So I sprayed about 6 of these cupcake spaces with some nonstick cooking spray, and now ice cream scooper I think is going to be the way to go for this. Just see, whew, I might have to spray some more. I thought maybe I would only get about 6 cupcakes out of this, but this is actually going to be, I bet you we're going to get at least 9, maybe more. So much for it being a small batch recipe. Oh well, these are probably, I don't see that there would be any reason why you couldn't freeze these and give them to your dog intermittently. You know, get one out in the morning, let it thaw. Give it to them in the afternoon, or give them half of it even. It doesn't have to even be a whole one. Oh, maybe one more. There we go. All right, that's looking good. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Our oven is preheated, so at this point I'm going to throw this in the oven, and like I said, it's at 375. We're going to leave it for, we're going to check it after about 40 minutes because it's so dense. We'll check it after about 40 minutes and see how it's doing. The recipe actually said bake 50 to 55 minutes, but I'm always dubious. So in it goes. Okay. Going to move this out of the way. Let's rinse the bowl that had my banana in it, because now we're going to make some frosting to go on top. Not a lot, just a little scraping of frosting. And there's no magical list of ingredients or even measurements for this. We're going to use a bit of Greek yogurt. I'm going to say that's probably about a half a cup worth. And then a generous, probably, well, almost a half cup of peanut butter. Okay, now we're just going to try and combine it. And again, this is just making a very small batch of frosting, just enough to scrape a little bit over the top of each cupcake. Coming together nice. Smells really good. And I'll let you have a look. See, it's looking pretty good, nice and thick. Definitely spreadable. I'm gonna just tuck this back in the fridge because our cupcakes have a long while yet. Oops, I should probably put a timer on. Let's set it for 40 minutes and see what happens. 40. Okay, so we'll be back in about 40 minutes, give you an update on our cupcakes. I'm going to put this in the fridge with some foil over it just to keep it in good shape, and we'll let you know how things turn out. So while our pupcakes are in the oven, just a quick note about doggy treats in general. So not everyone's dog can handle things that are made with wheat. If you do have a dog that has allergies, yes, you don't have allergies. You can eat anything because you are a baggy-eared garburator. Yes, you are. Yeah, he's agreeing. So if you have a dog that has some allergies, always consult with your veterinarian, or just give something fairly innocuous, like maybe some slices of carrot or some peeled apple wedges, because those are generally pretty well tolerated by a lot of dogs, right? So we'll let you go. We'll be back when our puppies are out of the oven. Someone's getting impatient. Okay, so our oven went off at about 40 minutes, and I did give them the knife test to see if the tip of a knife would come out clean, and they are perfectly cooked. So I'm not sure how the original recipe came up with 50 to 55 minutes, maybe. I guess everyone's ovens are different. But here is our beautiful pupcakes. They actually smell quite good, and like I said, there's nothing in here that you can't eat anyway. I think if anything, they'd be a little bit bland, but we are going to let them cool thoroughly. Then we will give them a hit with a little bit of our peanut butter yogurt frosting, and then we will serve them up to the hounds for their birthdays. So be back when these are cool. Okay guys, so our pupcakes are out of the oven. They cooled, and as you can see, I have given each of them a little bit of a scraping with our peanut butter yogurt frosting. So these will need to be kept in the fridge now. The portions do not get eaten. I am not going to give the dogs very much. I'm going to give them each the equivalent of, well, I'm probably going to start them just with like one or even a half of one each, just because it is a little different from their daily diet, and I really don't want to be cleaning it up in the middle of the night. But I guess now all that's left is to let the hounds have the official taste test. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Roll. Happy birthday, dear Cleo. Happy birthday to you. Land shark that she is. Oh my God. Taste it, honey. Taste it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Winston. Happy birthday to you. You've had yours, Piglet.
Cleo, come here.
Piggy.
Hey, Winston, you're getting more. Cleo,
you've had yours.
didn't need those fingers anyway.
No, did not need those fingers anyway. And that's all she wrote. Happy birthday, hounds. Happy birthday, Mr. Winston and Miss Cleo.
I thought we got more.